Hello everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today I get to present to you the OG9 homing spider droid by Nostalgic Brick Studios. There's something sort of strange and interesting about this design. It feels sort of retro, like a sci-fi robot from the 1960s or 50s. It has large dishes around for its ray guns, or things that look like ray guns. The design is incredibly simple. You can just see a basic hydraulic leg system around a dome, and honestly it reminds me of something you might see from War of the Worlds instead of Star Wars. Make no mistake, it fits pretty well within the universe, has a pretty good battle record. And before I jump into any more details of this vehicle within the Star Wars universe or the Lego model that we're looking at right now, I do want to say that if you wanted to build this creation for yourself, you can get the instructions at our web store, www.brickvault.toys. Included with each purchase is the PDF step-by-step building guide, as well as a digital parts list that you can use to upload online to order all the pieces that you'll need. When you purchase instructions from us, it's a great way to help support what we do here at the channel, as well as the amazingly talented designers that we work with, like Nostalgic Brick Studios. This model is built to minifigure scale, so you see flashing by the screen right now are different Clone Wars era Star Wars designs that are also all custom builds, and they all scale with each other. Our long-standing goal here is to make the coolest, most detailed versions of the models that we really love, and it's fun to see a larger and larger Star Wars universe slowly come to life with all of these high quality and extremely well put together models. Now, jumping back to the homing spider droid specifically, nobody knows why it's the OG9. Usually an acronym or some code like that has a deeper meaning and is explained in the, a booklet or some type of informational pamphlet at some point, but we don't know why OG is in the name for this particular model. We do know that it has a bottom and top mounted laser cannon and laser emplacement. They are extremely good for cutting down personnel on the ground, and these are usually amongst the very first droids to be placed on the battlefield when fighting against the clone army. This droid has some wide dished out feet for easily planting on flat or rough terrain, thin legs, basic connections to the hydraulic body towards the center, and some interesting Tesla coil-like details towards the top of the legs. The laser cannon at the bottom looks to be built a little bit heavier. Maybe it's a little bit more powerful than the one at the top. Of course, it's got some posability, being able to spin 360 degrees. Instead of three different little eye pieces, there is the singular red eye. There's different variations of the homing spider droid. Nostalgic Brick Studios went with the single red dish there, and then there's also posability for the top laser cannon as well, or the laser emplacement. That has sort of like a constant beam that it shoots out. Now here's the connection for the legs. On either side of the dome, there's quite a bit of posability, which is nice. But really, if we're going to start moving the model around, I might as well switch over to the single shot uncut handling section of the video to show you guys how robust this custom model is. Sometimes not all custom builds are as strong, or often not all custom builds are as strong as Lego sets. But fortunately, the homing spider droid here has a design that lends itself really, really well to being quite durable. When posing the model up and down within its different ratcheted positions, I often find that it is easier just to break off the top part of the leg ever so slightly. After all, they are only attached by 2 studs each, and it just is a little bit easier when messing around with the higher resistance of the ratcheted joints. 1 or 2 studs can pop off the side of the dome when you're doing this ratcheted change up for the legs, though you'll notice in this slightly sped up footage that it's a pretty simple procedure to get this thing standing a little bit higher up if you want. And then you'll see there's just as much posability in this second configuration, and you have the ability to make the droid stand at 1 ratcheted joint higher to once again increase its height and give you a little bit more flexibility in terms of how you want to pose this relatively animate vehicle. Actually, I don't even know if it counts as a vehicle. It's technically a droid, though this is not one of those sentient droids with the ability to talk or think on its own. Anyways, this is a particularly fun design for a model. I really like that the designer was not afraid to jump on the studded spherical head in the center, which I know you guys in the comments will be like, it's not smooth. But at the end of the day, it's actually much closer to a perfectly spherical dome shape than what you can get from, let's say, those large quarter round dome pieces that you often find in large, smooth, studless builds. When you look at the overall footprint of how the shape is created here in the center, it's an incredibly smart design, extremely strong connections made for having those legs stick into the side of the dome without being able to fall away. And I also appreciate that there is that slight split through the center of the dome, which is the weak point for this particular droid when getting shot at. At the end of the day, accuracy in terms of scale and physical details on the model and proportions is really what we love here. Nostalgic Brick Studios, I think, captured the essence of this particular retro style Star Wars I almost want to say creature because it is almost animal-like, but yeah, no, it's this big retro heavy robot that definitely works well to build out a separatist army, and it's also pretty easy to move around. Remember guys, if you wanted to build this creation for yourself, you can find the instructions at our web store, www.brickvault.toys. Remember to let me know what types of creations you'd like to see in the future, which is basically any Star Wars vehicle we have not yet built as far as I can tell. And if you enjoy our content, you can always like, subscribe, share the video. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.